Welcome to Courtside. I'm Blair Cartwright along with Tom Collen, our head women's basketball coach. And Coach, what a great start for your team, 9-0.
It's good to be back, and it's good to be undefeated. It takes me back memories my first year here when we got off to 15-0, and we're not quite there yet. But certainly a 9-0 start has given us some momentum, I think, leading into finals, and it's given our kids some confidence. So we're pretty excited to be where we're at right now.
Several reasons for the 9-0 start, but let's go ahead and take a look at our three keys. First off, Sierra Ricketts, as you might expect, playing very well again.
Well, she came in with a target on her back. You know, she had a little bit of a down year last year, I think, probably, if you ask around the league. And although she was a preseason all-conference pick for us, certainly she needed to step her game up. And so far this season, she's done that. She's been a little bit better leader for us. She stepped up and made some outside shots for us, but right back up there at the lead in the SEC in steals and assists and turnover ratio. And you know, I think everybody knows kind of with this team, as Sierra goes, so our team goes, and so we need her out there on the floor 100% all the time.
And last week named SEC Player of the Week.
And we're excited about that, and she was very deserving of that. You know, she had struggled a little bit at the free throw line last year. I think our fans probably remember that. And so far, if you were to say who are you going to put the ball, whose hands are you going to put it in late in the game, I would say Sierra Ricketts, and probably that was one of the greatest things she did at Utah. Utah fouled a lot late, and she stepped up and just kept knocking them down. That was the difference. Our
second key, one of the newcomers, Kiera Peak, who has really come on strong.
We're excited about her. You know, we knew that we were going to lose Dominique Robinson for the year for medical purposes, and we needed somebody to step up. When we signed Kiera late in the spring, we told her there was a possibility that this could happen, and she needed to be prepared. And one way or the other, she would get some backup minutes. But although she's coming off the bench and she's not starting for us right now, she's kind of our superwoman off the bench and giving us a great spark. The fans love her. It's not just the production, I think, so much. She certainly rebounds and she defends, but she brings so much energy. You know, she pushes the ball down the floor. She dives on loose balls. Our fans, in a very, very short period of time, have really fallen in love with her energy and her effort, and our team needed that as well. And it's a contagious thing.
And our third key, balance and chemistry, getting the scoring from inside and outside. And this team really meshes well together.
Well, they have so far. You know, we felt like Sierra and Lindsay were going to be fairly consistent scorers for us. Certainly Kiera Peak, we just talked about her. She stepped up and has averaged double figures and been a good defender. But I think the real key for us was to develop some type of an inside game. And, you know, I've told our fans all along, I really think at some point in time Sarah Watkins is going to step up and become a little bit more consistent player. She scared us a little. She got off to a rocky start in her first couple of home games, but she really started getting it together. We started pounding it. We didn't give up on her. We kept pounding it into her. And she's really become our go-to player on the low block right now. And Ashley Daniels has stepped up. You know, every year Ashley just gets a little bit stronger, a little bit better, a little more aggressive. And she's averaging close to double figures. And she's our best rebounder right now. So, you know, when you got five people out there and you've got to guard them all, you're a little bit harder to defend. And I think that's been a real key for us so far.
We've got more to talk about, but we need to take a time out. More Courtside coming up after this.
Head coach John Pelfrey and the Razorbacks are recruiting you to join the fun at Bud Walton Arena. December 22nd is Family Day. For just $60, receive 4 tickets and a $10 concessions voucher. Additional tickets are only $15 each. Enjoy the excitement of Arkansas basketball this holiday season with Family Day on December 22nd. For tickets, call 800-982-HOGS or stop by the Razorback Ticket Center. And remember that you are our #1 recruit.
Coach, you're the focus of this week's Fast Break. Ready for 5 questions?
Shoot away.
All right, first question, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, you know, I don't want to disappoint people with like what every coach would probably say, a basketball movie. I got to say Hoosiers, you know, about the old coach that just kind of keeps hanging in there, keeps trying to find a way to win. I just think it's a great story.
It's a classic. Now, what do you do to get away from basketball?
Well, you know, when I get away from basketball, I end up being a little bit overwhelmed with my family at home. There's really no escape on either end. You know, I wish I could say that I could just take off in the middle of the year, in the middle of the day, and get away. But it's pretty much I go home, and the great getaway and distraction is my 3 kids under 5, and it's a little bit overwhelming. They wear you down a little bit, but they certainly take your mind off of basketball.
What is your favorite song?
My favorite song, you know, I got to go back to the Beatles. This isn't a real exciting song for anybody probably, but Yesterday, All right, maybe that's going back in time, the old memories, but just been a big Beatles fan my whole life.
What is your favorite sport besides basketball?
I love college football. You know, people are surprised. You know, I don't watch a lot of college men's basketball. Maybe that's because I'm overwhelmed with that sport as a career, and it takes up a great deal of my day. But you can find me in the fall after practice on the weekends following the Razorbacks, but really I just love watching college football on TV.
You know, I'm sure you're going to be watching the Sugar Bowl, right?
Absolutely.
Super. Final question, what is your favorite website?
My favorite website would have to be Razorbacks.com.
Good answer. Thanks, Coach.
Tickets are now on sale for Razorback women's basketball. 12 postseason teams, including Tennessee and Oklahoma, highlight the 17-game home schedule. Family packs are available for only $75, which includes season tickets for 2 adults and 2 children. And all first-time buyers receive a free large pizza, courtesy of Pizza Hut. Call 800-982-HALL or order tickets online at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Don't miss a minute of Arkansas women's basketball.
You've got mail.
This week's question comes from Sarah in Little Rock. Is there a rule change you would make to improve the women's game?
Well, there's probably a lot of changes I would make, but I still like the game to be very, very up-tempo. I think there's a couple changes you can make. It's already a pretty fast game with a 30-second shot clock, but I'd like to go to 24 like in the NBA. And the other thing that I think we could do to speed it up a little bit is we don't have a 10-second rule, a backcourt rule. So I think if you were forced to bring the ball up a little bit quicker, I think you'd see more teams press under those circumstances, try to keep people in the backcourt and get some turnovers. So I think that would up-tempo the game a little bit. So those would probably be my favorite 2 changes.
Is there a reason there's not a 10-second?
I can't tell you what it is. You know, we have discussions, we survey it every year. There's some people for, some people against. It just fits on that 50-50 line all the time, and it's just not enough for them to be able to make the change right now.
Well, Sarah, thanks for the question.
Submit your question on the Courtside page under women's basketball at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Kids can now be a part of the Razorback experience by joining the Junior Razorbacks Club. All Junior Razorbacks will receive a t-shirt, membership card, quarterly newsletter, discounts at Hog Heaven, tickets to select Razorback events, special post-game activities, and much more. The membership cost is just $40 and $25 for each additional child. Membership forms are available online at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Join today.
Welcome back. 2 games coming up for the Razorbacks. Thursday night, ORU comes to town. 7 o'clock tip-off here at Bud Walton Arena. What do we know about the Golden Eagles?
Well, I think it's going to be an exciting game. You know, they come in at 5-5, but don't be surprised if this team, before the season ends, they end up being about 22-6 and going undefeated in their conference. They're that good of a basketball team. They were one of the top scoring teams in the nation last year, and they're that way again this year. So they play very up-tempo. They're averaging in the mid-80s. You know, right now we're scoring like about 65 a game. So we're going to have to find out. We're going to have to find a way to slow them down. Right now, defense has been a pretty strong point for us, but I don't think we're going to hold them to 55, which is what we've been doing, and we got to find a way to score more points. So it's going to be an exciting brand of basketball. I think our fans will really enjoy watching Oral Roberts play as well.
And I think they're going to enjoy the game on Sunday, too. Number 12, Oklahoma coming to town. 5 o'clock tip-off on Sunday. It will be televised on Cox Sports Television. Great game last year in Norman. I would expect more of the same this year.
I think it's a game that our players circled on their calendars from day one. You know, we went over there last year and arguably played our best game of the year. We got up by as many as 17 points at one time. The crowd was a little overwhelming when you really had to start playing against it. I think we stunned them at first, but you know, they forced the game into overtime, had a chance to win in regulation, had a chance to win in overtime, you know, let it slip away. So hard-fought game, but I think it was a game that our kids really felt like they let get out of their control, you know, and so I think they want another shot at them. As long as we take care of business, I think against Oral Roberts, go into that game undefeated against a nationally ranked team, an opportunity to get a little bit of revenge and maybe an opportunity to show the fans around the country that we belong in that upper echelon as well.
You ran with them pretty well last year. Do you expect running with them again this year?
Well, it's going to be very up-tempo. They fly down the floor. Somehow we've got to stop them from flying down the floor as fast as what they like to do. I think we need to slow the tempo of the game just a little bit, but certainly I think it's going to be an exciting game for our fans.
Well, best of luck, and let's get 2 more W's.
All right, sounds good.
For Tom Collen, I'm Blair Cartwright. We'll see you next week on Courtside.